what is hazard mapping? Hazard mapping, also known as risk mapping or vulnerability mapping, is a process of identifying and visually representing areas or regions that are prone to specific hazards. Our group is tasked to find different hazards in our school. To initiate this strategy, it is imperative to increase the awareness of the learners on the hazards and possible risk inside the school. The student-led school watching and hazard mapping are initial steps in engaging learners in disaster preparedness and management. Here are the 10 different hazards. The first one is slippery stairs. You can sustain an endless possibility of injuries from falling the downstairs. Minor injuries that can result include sprains, strains, bruises, and minor cuts and scrapes. To avoid accident, we must watch our foot in every steps. Second, no pedestrian lane at school. Every day, students of all ages walk to school, sometimes alone and other times with a parent or caregiver. The walk to school can be a dangerous one if not taken with caution. As pedestrian, it is important to always be aware of your surroundings and take extra precautions when crossing the street. One way to ensure your safety is by paying close attention to school crossing road signs. School crossing road signs are specifically designed to alert drivers that they are entering a school zone and should proceed with caution. Third, broken windows in classrooms. Especially in the case of glass windows, the damaged glass can lead to a potential hazard. If there is a crack in the glass, it might expand and eventually break off, and if the glass is already broken, the shattered pieces as well as the pieces tacked to the panes of the window can injure a person. Reminder to avoid hazards. Do not handle broken glass with bare hands. Use appropriate cut-resistant gloves to handle broken glass. Use forceps, tongs, scoops, or other mechanical devices for removing or retrieving broken glass from the work area or a fume hood. If you want to maintain the positive and safe reputation of your school, then it is advisable to hire an experienced commercial window repair company to get the problem fixed as soon as possible. Fourth, high voltage hazards. High voltage hazards are a serious risk to workers and the public due to the massive quantities of energy that can be released. Severe injury or death from electric shock, which may be received by direct or indirect contact, tracking through across a medium, or by arcing. Burns from arcing, explosion or fire. Illness or death from toxic gases released by burning and arcing. Reminder to take reasonable care of your own health and safety and for others who may be affected by what you do or don't do. You must follow instructions from supervisors, use equipment properly, and adopt safe work policies and procedures. If something isn't clear, ask for an explanation. Fifth, exposure of wires. Exposed wires present a danger of electric shock or electrocution. Using an open front plug poses the risk of contact with live wires when plugging it to an electrical outlet. This also poses a risk of electric shock or electrocution. When exposed electrical wiring sparks, it can set fire to the surrounding wall or structure. This happens when the grounding wire and hot active wire touch. Electrical fires are some of the most dangerous forms of combustion because they start quickly and spread easily. Remember, Inspect wiring of equipment before each use. Use safe work practices every time electrical equipment is used. Know the location and how to operate shut-off switches and or circuit breaker panels. Limit the use of extension cords. Multi-plug adapters must have circuit breakers or fuses. Damaged ceilings. Damaged ceilings are commonly the cause of water leaks, heavy rain, and more. The effect of damaged ceilings are hazardous and can even be a serious threat for your health, as it may cause carbon monoxide poisoning, electrocution, and may even start fires. To mitigate such damage, Mega Interior and Construction Limited have strict ceiling installation procedures. An alternate perimeter installation was engineered and tested to mitigate earthquake damage and loss of life, making buildings and schools much more resilient with stretch ceiling. The risk of students gaining access to construction or maintenance areas, danger of items dropped from work at height, excessive noise, dust, or other forms of disturbance creating disruptions for staffs and students, especially at exam times. Remember, to avoid accident, you must stay away from the unfinished constructions building, especially when there is earthquake. 8. Buildings. The same effect happens to buildings during an earthquake. If the earthquake vibration push a building at or near its frequency, it will begin to resonate, which causes the building to move the greater amplitude until some part of the building collapses or fails and the building falls apart. How to avoid accident? Stay away from outer walls, windows, fireplaces, and hanging objects. If you are unable to move from a certain situation, protect yourself from falling object by covering up with blankets or any hard objects. If you are outside, go to an open area away from trees, telephone poles, and buildings. Stay there until there is a rescuer. 9. Dirty canals. The effect of dirty canals include contamination of adjacent soil and groundwater systems, leading to heavy metal pollution and negative impacts on human health. Improper use of canals can also lead to flooding. Remember, we must always keep our canals clean for the free flow of water for the benefit of all. The use of water canals as dumping sites can have very serious consequences, as the litter can close the flow of water and lead to flooding. 10. Sitting on the wall of the building. Sitting on the wall can be a hazard because if you lose your balance, you might fall and have an injury, or if it's worse, it can cause your death. Remember, being a student, it's not just a security guard or any worker in your school having a responsibility on your safety. You have also a contribution or responsibilities of being disciplined at school, especially in terms of your safety. For us, having this kind of activity can help us to be educated about what are the possible hazard and how we can avoid it.